So how many of you have started your SBI PO 2021 preparation? Let me know in the comments. Let's see how many people are ready. And if you are not, then this video is going to help you to outline a proper plan. So this preparation strategy for SBI PO 2021 is going to help all of you to start.
Hi, this is Supriyo. So the SBI PO 2021 preparation strategy. Now, remember that we don't really have the date of this examination, but we can actually guess a little bit. Now, remember that CET is definitely going to start towards the end of this year. So we are expecting that SBI is going to come out with the notification before that. And we have seen that around August, all the IBPS exams, the RRB exams, all the exams, other exams are opening. So my expectation is that in July, probably the preliminary examination, it can happen in July. And that is the assumption on which I am making this video. And I feel that the mains, it will be in August. So that is what I currently feel based on the circumstances and the things that are available to us. Now we know that the CBO notification that is actually going to be coming, and also there's the clerical notification as well. So considering all of these factors, I feel that July, August, this is the exact time frame that we can work with. And so now remember that SBI PO, you are of course going to target it, and for many of you, it's going to be your dream examination, right? So that's the one thing that you are targeting towards. But you also have some other targets as well. So remember that don't keep only SBI PO as your hope and dream. So just keep all the other things in the basket as well. So all the IBPS PO, the IBPS clerk, the RRB PO, RRB clerk, all these examinations, even all the RBI examinations or the SEBI examinations, just give every single thing. And my policy is always to fill all the forms that I am eligible in, and I request all of you to follow the same thing. Now, another thing to remember is that many people feel that first let us clear the prelims and then we are going to move towards the mains, but that is not a good strategy. So prelims and mains, you have to prepare in tandem. Now, you have to do this because there is some distinct differences between each of these things, and just let me show you the structure. So for the prelims, this is the structure, right? English, quant and reasoning. So 30, 35 and 35 questions, total 100 marks, total 100 questions, 100 marks, and you have 1 hour. Now remember, 20-minute sectional locking is there for each of the sections, and you have to get the passing mark or the sectional cutoff in each section. So each section, the sectional cutoff you have to cross. Now the sectional cutoff, it is usually from 10 marks to 15 marks, sometimes even lesser than that. So it's not that difficult. But remember, for your prelims, all the sections you have to be strong in. Now that is something that is quite important and people forget. And as I always say, like it is a 100-meter race, and mains is a marathon. Now coming to the mains, if you see the structure for the mains examination, now for the mains examination, the important thing to remember is that there is no sectional cutoff, right? So you can just go ahead and clear the overall cutoff and you are in. You are selected for the interview. Now, remember, you have 250 marks to work with. Here you have 50 marks of descriptive and 200 in the main paper. And last time around for the general category, it was around 88 or 89, something like that. The cutoff was there. So you see, for the descriptive test, it is quite easy to even score 40 marks. You can easily score 40 marks. So almost half of the marks you are getting in the descriptive, and on the other sections, you just have to pull up the other marks. So it's not that difficult if you see it correctly. Now, each section has ample number of questions, and you can just pick the section that you are good in and you can excel in this examination. And I have also talked about it in my recent video on the 7 points or the 7 things that you have to remember for SBI PO 2021. I hope that you have all watched that video. Please watch it because I have discussed some very important things in that video as well. And so this is the main structure, and sectional locking, of course, it's there, but overall cutoff is the only thing that is going to be just checked in this examination. So remember that even with a 0, you can get like even if you get 0 marks in one of the sections, it does not really matter. So that is something that you have to understand. You have to prepare in tandem. Now, each of the weeks that you are going through with the preparation, each of the days, you have to do EOD and EOW analysis. So EOD is the end of day analysis. So this means that at the end of each day, you are trying to see how much you have actually achieved and where are your problem areas. All the things you have to just keep in check. And this is very important to do on a daily basis. And end of week analysis, This is also quite important. Did you actually hit all the targets? Did you hit all the subject areas that you actually had to hit? So that is why I have also discussed all the subject areas. We are going to get into that. We are going to get into the weekly analysis. So this is how you have to go. This is the best way by which you have to prepare. And many people were asking me whether there's going to be a GD. Now I have a video on my on the personal interview section, and also on the GD I have a video. But I think that even this time they are not going to have a GD, because the coronavirus thing and all the pandemic related stuff, it's still happening, and they don't want to risk it, I think. So they will keep it only till the interview. That's what I feel. Now for the assumptions for this plan, so I have already told you about all the assumptions. So I am assuming that sometime in the middle of July we are going to have the prelims examination. So that is the assumption, and my assumption is that in August we are going to have the mains examination. So based on that, there's also another thing to remember. Based on the timelines that I'm working with, what is the GA that you have to read? So GA start with March. So 1st March, you're going to start with your GA preparation. And after the notification comes out, we can calibrate accordingly. But I think March is enough. If you want, you can start from February, but it might be overkill. I don't think so fast the notification is going to come, but you never know. SBI surprises every time. So that is the thing that you have to remember. Now that's the assumption that middle of July, we are going to have the prelims. So for the working candidates, I want to say something for the working candidates, because many people, they ask me this question. We are working right now, so how are we going to find time for the examination? Now your Saturday and Sunday, you have to actually be very serious about these 2 days. You cannot go out partying. You cannot watch movies, uninstall Netflix from your phone, Amazon Prime, whatever you have, and all the YouTube series that you see, all those things, you cannot actually see those things if you want to succeed in these examinations. So you have to have those sacrifices in. And also you can do another thing during the weekdays. So at the end of the weekday, like, you have to allocate some time for your preparation. So if you have to allocate like that, so you cannot, if you are living alone, you cannot do the cooking yourself. So you have to get a maid or somebody who can do the cooking for you, so that you save that time which is actually spent in cooking your food. So those things you can of course save, and you can allocate it towards your preparation. And I would also say that for the GA, the general awareness, you can see many MCQ videos online, and you can also see all those videos online about the general awareness, and it's going to help you to cover it. And you can have some PDFs, if it is at all possible, to take with you on your phone, and in your breaks or whenever you are not working in your office, you can watch them. Now remember, I do not say that you neglect your work. Do not do that, please. Whatever job you're doing, please be somebody who is responsible. Do your job with diligence, because that is something, it's your good karma, isn't it? You shouldn't be cheating your office just by preparing all those things. So that is something that you have to remember. Do your work, but at the same time, whenever you get time, you can allocate. So use your phone. Your mobile phone is extremely powerful for all the working candidates, I'm saying. And you can also have some PDFs downloaded in your work computer, if it is at all allowed. And whenever you're on a break or you're not having that much to do on a particular day, you can study for that. So those are the thumb rules that you can follow. And I have actually discussed about more things in a detailed video. You can watch it if you want. So all those kinds of things, it's going to help you. And I feel that if you follow these things, it's going to be very useful for you. So let us come to the exact preparation from the week 1 to the week 3. Now, we are actually breaking down our preparation into various weeks. So in this way, we can target our preparation and we can have a focused approach. So that is the main reason we are doing it. So the first week to the third week, 18th April to 9th May. What are you going to do in this time? So you have to start with 2 to 4 cold mocks. Now, cold mocks means you have not done any preparation and you are just jumping into your mock test and just to see your level. So you're going to check your level, and based on that, you're going to have 2 approaches. So what you are going to do, you're going to first see what is your score. So in these mock tests, if you are consistently scoring above 80 percentile, so if your score is always above 80 percentile, then what you can do is that you can have a more focused approach towards mock tests. So every alternate day or something, you can do your mock test. And if you are above 80 percentile, then you do not need to allocate separate days for your separate subjects. So that is something that I always tell people to do. If your score is below this 80 percentile, then each and every single day, you have to actually allocate towards one subject. Now, I have already discussed about that policy in earlier videos. videos, so you can go check it out if you want. But that is what I suggest for beginners. Now, if you are not a beginner, if you are scoring quite high, then you can actually prepare each of the subjects per day. Whatever subject you are feeling weak in, you can just target it and you can do it. And just remember that you have to be fully dedicated towards your prelims in these 3 weeks. That is something that is very significant, very important. And your general awareness preparation, this should not stop. So remember, GA preparation daily you have to do, otherwise you're going to fall behind. General awareness, please do not neglect it. This is the section that is going to make you a winner. Believe me, for many people who are saying that they cannot clear mains, you just have to focus on English and GA. For SBI PO, I'm telling. For SBI PO, there is no overall cutoff. If you are good in English, if you are good in GA, you are 100% going to get the job. Believe me, this is something that I have told many people. They have followed it and they have got jobs. Now, the banking awareness preparation, I have an entire playlist. Now, it is a long playlist and lots of questions are also there. So you can just go and check it out. Entire banking awareness I have covered, and I might make more MCQ videos in the days to come. And also your reading habit. This is also something that is going to be very, very important. You have to develop this reading habit. Read some newspapers, read some editorials. Wherever you can find good content, just read it. And for me, I used to read during the leisure times. So for example, if you have eaten some food, or like if you have done your lunch, then the hour or two after that, you don't really feel like working on something heavy. So you can just read something, read an editorial, you can read something on your app, etc., etc. And as I told you, the end of day and the end of week, you have to review each and every single thing. This is something that is common for all the weeks that we are talking about. End of day review, end of week review. Just keep measuring stuff. You have to measure, make an Excel sheet if required. And about the topics, so what are the topics that you have to cover in the first 3 weeks? So these are the topics: the ratios, simplification, approximation, number system, averages, percentages, ages, partnership, simple interest and compound interest. So these are the things that you have to focus on. Now, don't keep yourself limited. If you are covering other topics, that's well and good, but these are the things that you should actually focus on. The concept should be built. And for the reasoning, syllogisms, order and ranking, the direction sense. Now, lots of direction sense questions come these days, and also the alphanumeric series, it's become very important. Blood relations was always important, and also the coding decoding. So these are the things that you have to focus on. And for English, you have to do the fillers, the closer test, matching, and the reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is something that is always going to save you. Remember, if the English paper is hard, even then the RC questions, they are still doable, I feel. So reading comprehension, do not neglect it. Just keep practicing each and every single RC. Those are really going to give you a lot of value. So do not neglect them. Now, next weeks, so week 4, 5, and 6, what you are going to do, 10th May to 31st May, you are now going to be focused towards mains. Okay, so the last 3 weeks you had focused totally on prelims, and since it was the beginning part of your preparation, so prelims after you have done, so you will be very versatile with all the questions. You will know what type of questions are asked, and in the mains you can use that knowledge. So here again, you have to start with the 2 mains called mocks. So you are just giving the mocks and you are seeing your level. So you'll check your level, and again, based on your level, you can calibrate your approach. So if you are seeing like you are scoring 85 percentile or more, then you are really good in your mains preparation. And then I would say that, every 2 days you can go ahead and do mock tests, and you can analyze from mock tests. It's going to work out fine for you. Focus more on mock tests. But if you are getting lower than that, then I would suggest every 3 or 4 days give a mock test, and the remaining time just focus on building your concepts. It means that your concepts are not that strong. So that is how you are going to calibrate it. And so your mains preparation is going to continue, and efficient general awareness every single day. You have to go and do it. So GA, please do not stop. That is the backbone of your preparation, and you really cannot stop it. Do as many MCQs as possible. That's the best form from which you can practice. And you have to complete the banking awareness by 31st May. So give yourself a target that by 31st May, I will have completed each and every single thing about BA. And after this date, the only thing that you should be preparing is your dynamic banking awareness, which is the news items, whatever come. And so that is how you have to do. And also the 3T mock test analysis. Now this is most important for your mains mock tests. So 3T, what does it stand for? The first T, it is for the type of question. So what type of question does this belong to? We all have types of questions in each and every single examination. So identify what type is being asked. The next thing you have to see is the time taken. So how much time is it taking you to solve that particular question? Are you struggling a lot? Do you have to just pull up your timings? So if so, then you have to go and check your concepts from a video or from a book. And I have also kept a list of all the important books. I have put it in the description of this video, so you can go and check it out if you really need it. I don't really feel books are that important these days, but some people, they get benefited. And the third thing is, of course, the tricks. So what is a trick by which we can simplify this problem? So always ask yourself if there is any trick that can make this problem easier. So these are the three things that you have to analyze, and you have to create an error log. So whenever you are giving some kind of mock test, you might have made many errors, many silly mistakes. Maybe your mental state was not right. So you just put it down in the error log, and later on, before the examination, you are going to review it. And of course, the descriptive English is also very important. So in these 3 weeks, you are going to write an essay and a letter every single week. So minimum one essay and minimum one letter. I recommend at least 2 essays and 2 letters per week, but sometimes it becomes very difficult. So at least 1 essay or at least 1 letter, please write per week. And so what are the essential topics that you are going to ace in this week? So you are going to go for data interpretation for the quant. So quant DIs, they are going to be your focus area. Do as many DIs as possible. DIs are never going to hurt you. It's going to play a vital role in your mains exam and also in the prelims exam. So time and work, then speed and distance, the mixtures and allegations. Many people have problems in this area. So make sure that you are not having any issues. Then quadratic equations. So QE, it is also another very scoring area, and the number series. So all these 3 things, they are very scoring, but sometimes people have problems. So you can go ahead and see the different types of questions. Also remember to do the missing number series. Those are also important. Wrong number series, missing number series, any of these things can come. And then you go to the reasoning preparation, puzzles and seating arrangement. This is something that is very, very important. And I know that lots of you struggle with the puzzles, but it is what it is. You have to practice. And as many puzzles as you practice, you're going to get better. I can assure you, if you do 50 puzzles in 2 weeks, then you will see that you have become much, much better at it. And the input and output questions, the clocks questions, the calendar clock, those types of questions, then the inequalities and the logical reasoning. So those are the things you have to complete. And in the English, the reading comprehension, again, you have to focus on this, then the parajumbles and the descriptive part. So these are the things that you have to cover in these 3 weeks. And once this is done, we move to week number 7. So from week 7, 8 and 9, you are again going back to the prelims preparation. So it's going to be from 1st June to 21st June. You're going to again jump back into prelims, and here again efficient GA every single day. Do not neglect it, and you have to review your banking awareness. So by now your banking awareness should be very, very strong, and you are just reviewing all those things. And then you have to do all the hard mock tests. So many of the mock test provider, they will actually mark some mock tests as hard mock tests. So just try and do those, and also the complex concepts. So this is the final 3 weeks that you can use to build up on your complex concepts. So any concepts that you have been struggling with, that you see in your error log you are struggling with, you can go ahead and you can build. And then you have to understand the solving priority. So this is something that is vital. So whenever you start an examination, there might be, say, 10 questions. Okay, so you see maybe 10 questions are there at the start of the any of the sections. So maybe it is possible that question number 3 and question number 9 are the easiest questions. But what you are doing, you are starting off with one, and then you are spending way too much time on question number 1, and you forget to see all those questions. So do not be like that. Sometimes if you can see that a question is a little bit more complicated, just right away skip it and go to a simpler one. So that is what I mean by solving priority. And this differs from people to people. So everybody has their own personal choice about the types of questions that seem easy. So whatever questions seem easy to you, go for those first. And of course, the essential topics, again, whatever you have to actually ace over here. So for quant, you have to do the pipes and cisterns, boats and streams, mensuration, inequality, data sufficiency. Data sufficiency is very, very important, especially in the mains. It's quite important. Then the probability, the profit and loss, quantity questions. So you have this quantity 1, quantity 2, quantity 3, these types of questions. So these are very, very important for your quant. Then for reasoning, you again do data sufficiency, the medium level puzzles, and the mixed questions. So sometimes mixed concepts are tested in reasoning based on many topics. So you can do those. And for English, synonym, antonym, the spotting errors, and the sentence correction. Another thing that you can do over English for English is the vocab. So for vocab, I have actually made a different video on the English, and I have told how you can build your vocabulary as well. So just try those methods, and I am sure that it's going to help you. And in these exams, sometimes vocabulary is actually tested. So make sure that you are quite good, quite versatile with those things. And now we are coming to the final 2 weeks before our structured prelims preparation. So in these final week 10 and week 11, from 22nd June to 5th July, you are going to do the last focused mains preparation before your prelims exam. So this is the last 2 weeks to focus fully on mains. You have to practice the choosing and the skipping. So I have told about these concepts again and again. In mains, remember, it is about not doing a question. The person who is the best at not doing some questions is going to succeed, because many questions you have to prevent from actually even attempting. So that is how you have to build up your sixth sense, I can say, that you understand just by looking at a question whether I should jump into it or whether I should not touch it. So that is what you have to actually practice. And I have told about these concepts many times in my previous videos. So I hope that you remember. And the advanced conceptual analysis. So all the advanced topics. So just go ahead and do your final analysis of the concepts. And you can also use your error logs over here. So your error log will have lots of things that are not really, logical gaps for you. And for those, you have to actually fill the gaps. So that is your main target in these 2 weeks. And you have to do lots of general awareness and banking awareness revision. Now remember, this is your final 2 weeks, so you have to actually do lots of different types of MCQs. So focus on the GA and the BA MCQs. So MCQs definitely are going to help you out a lot in this examination. And also you have to understand the question solving priority. So the last weeks you had focused on your prelims. This week you are going to actually focus on the mains. So these 2 weeks, all the mains questions, how you are going to do the questions, the priority of the questions, you are going to actually understand. And when we come to the different types of subjects, so the final things, you have to do exclusively DIs in quant. So high level DIs, especially the compound problems. So sometimes 2 or 3 concepts can be meshed together and you can just do all those questions. The high level data sufficiency also you have to do. Then for the reasoning, you have to do the long winded verbal reasoning, the logical reasoning and the critical reasoning. So you have many long winded questions in the mains paper for the reasoning. So lots of data is given and then you have to pick out the data from there and you have to solve the question. So those types of questions I'm talking about. And the complex puzzles and the sitting arrangements. So the high level ones having maybe 3 or 4 variables and then it's being shifted here and there. All those types of questions you have to solve. And the English, the complex reading comprehensions, word associations, the paragraph completions, and the summations and the jumbles. So paragraph completion, paragraph summation, and the paragraph jumbles. So these are the types of things that you have to finish off for your English. And if you have done these things, then mostly your big brunt of the preparation is over. And now we move to the final week. So the week 12 onwards, from week 12, now we don't know whether it is going to be the final week because we don't obviously have the date of the exam right now. But from 6th July, I want you to focus fully on the prelims. So at least ensure that the last week, from your prelims, you are focusing totally on prelims. And in the final week, you have to have 100% focus on the prelims. So this means you have to review all the mock test data. You have to focus on the error logs. So all the things that went wrong, that you had done incorrectly, all those questions, you have to just go through patiently and you have to just remember not to make that mistake in the final examination. And also for the mains, only GA, you can actually keep on going with the GA. But in the final week, the last week from the prelims examination, stop your GA preparation as well, because you do not want any distraction. So all kinds of distractions you have to actually just stop, because remember, this is hypercritical. There is no mains paper if you cannot clear the pre. So even though prelims marks are not going to be added, even though that is the truth, you cannot really neglect prelims at all. Many people have made this mistake and they have paid the price. So do not neglect prelims. Just keep your preparation sharp and you do not just let yourself get distracted at all. And finally, the mock test autopilot. So this is a concept that I have talked about many times. This means that at that point of time, which question you have to solve, what you have to do, and how you are going to actually approach. So whenever the paper is presented to you, you are not waiting at all. You are just razor sharp focused and you are jumping at each and every question and you are attacking each section. So your mindset should be attack each section. And when we talk about our mindset, so the final mindset that you have to remember is your PMA. So PMA mindset, what is it? It is the positive mental attitude. Now, this is something that has been actually described the first time by Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich. So it means that you are always keeping your mind positive, you are mentally very strong, and you are always focused towards the goal. So please focus yourself towards the goal. There can be many challenges, there can be many disappointments, there can be people letting you down. And believe me, I know that feeling. I understand all those things. It is very painful when that happens, but you cannot let that get to you. Whatever happens, your goal is to become SBI PO, and you are going to achieve it. Just keep the self-belief and do not let any single thing stop you or derail you from this goal. My best wishes are with you. I hope that you learned something from this video and that it was beneficial to you. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button and share it with your friends. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, please click on the subscribe button and do not forget to click the bell icon so that you, my friend, do not miss any future update. I'll see you in the next video.